Hello, I'm Jaki Valensi-Lauper, and welcome to the very first exciting episode of Jaki's Buzz. So hello all you buzzers. This is the show that will give you the buzz on what's happening in the New England and tri-state areas in the world of entertainment and other news. Today we have Charlotte Lewis, our not-so-foreign correspondent, who is here to tell us a little bit about an interesting event that was held this past Thursday, February 10th in Stamford, Connecticut. It was the Connecticut Online Video Summit, and it was a packed house of about 80 people. Hi, Charlotte.
Hi, Jackie.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. So tell us a little about it.
Well, it was a terrific conference. There was 3 panelists, all with some great information. It included Dana Tower of Pond 5, a company that specializes in digital stock. We had Jameson Tilsner of Tube Filter, a bleeding edge company in episodic web television and web-based shows. And lastly, Aaron Sonnenberg. Fabulous input from Alan in regards to developing relationships with your audience and how to go about that. And he is from Blip TV, who has over 2.4 million web-based shows right now.
Wow, that's really exciting.
It is. What did you think of the event, Jackie?
I thought it was fabulous. It was so informative and entertaining at the same time. And I think for all of us out there that are really new to online TV programming, it was amazing. I mean, it was so informative. And who was it brought by? Who was it sponsored by?
The Fairfield Media Meetup, Actors Group Gym, and RocketsTale.com.
So be sure to check out RocketsTales.com. Thank you, Charlotte, for covering this, by the way, and that's Charlotte Lewis, our not-so-foreign correspondent. Hi, I'm Jaki Valensi-Lauper, and I'm here with Lenny Manzo, our very own Buzz critic. Hi, Lenny, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good, thank you for making the drive to see us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And before you give us your movie critique, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's going on with the whole Massachusetts film tax credit mess that's happening.
Yes. Well, it is a mess, I think so, because they're putting a cap on the tax credit. Or, well, it's up for a vote, so we don't know what's going to happen yet. And that's the problem for facing the producers in LA, because they're looking at Massachusetts and they're saying, hey, what's going on out there, Harry? And Harry's saying, well, they're fussing with the tax credits. So already I think it puts an idea in their heads that they should go somewhere else, and with so many opportunities in other places. And Michigan, which is right next door and gives you a really nice northeast look, is at 42%. And how they can continue to do that, I don't know, but I guess they're very desperate there for unemployment is rising, and so it's a big problem, and I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to take away business no matter what they say about it. It's not going to change things. It is changing, and already there is nothing in the fire right now as far as movies. We have a couple of pilots coming in from ABC in March, but that usually happens anyway, but there's no features on the table.
Oh dear, isn't it a little bit like cutting off your nose to spite your face? I don't know why they're doing this.
I think so. I think it's a problem. I mean, should we look into it and see if it's working? I think it's working. I see that there are a lot of businesses have been affected by it. All types of businesses that you wouldn't even think of, from like dry cleaners to lumber yards, restaurants, car services, child care. I mean, it's beyond how everybody's affected by it, and it is an industry that's growing here amongst all the industries that are not growing.
Yes.
So I think we really need to take a look at, is this working? And if it's working, why cut it off? Why stop it? Let's keep moving with it.
Exactly. There's so much filming going on. And in your opinion, do you think they're going to cut it, going to keep it? What do you feel?
There is a lot of support for the tax credits, and people have been calling in, and it's been made a difference. And so if anybody that's connected with the industry or who has felt the impact of this of the industry should call in to their local rep in Massachusetts, it would be quite helpful.
Please do that. Thank you so much, Lenny. I really appreciate that.
I was driving in my car, and the song came on the radio, country blues number, and I thought it was pretty good. T-Bone Burnett does the music, and Jeff Bridges was on lead vocals, and it was from the movie Crazy Heart. I was like, wow, I was pretty impressed, and that inspired me to see the film. And I have to say, I wasn't disappointed. Jeff Bridges does a great job. He's an old country musician, and he's on the back nine of his career, playing bowling alleys and other dives. And he's getting through it. He's a pro, and he makes it to the gigs and plays, but it's not easy for him. So he's moving along, and he runs into Jane, Maggie Gyllenhaal, and they fall in love. And that's what people do in the movies, they fall in love. So we have a little love story here, and love affects Bad Blake, Jeff Bridges' character, and he's creating songs again. He's writing again, and things are happening. His life is moving, but the alcohol doesn't get in the way. Alcohol and love don't always mix, and it's a problem, and they have some things to go through. So the movie's good, the music's great, and it doesn't go down the normal path of the Hollywood movie, and there's a few twists and turns, and I really like this movie, and I recommend it highly. Jeff Bridges does an amazing job, actually. He's at a great point in his career. He's gotten so much better over the years. I didn't even care for him in his younger days. Now this was like a tour de force, this movie, and Maggie was great as well. So go see this movie. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's a great film, and they do a great job. So this is Lenny Manzo, your Buzz critic, and I'll turn it back over to Jackie.
Thank you so much, Lenny. I really appreciate that. Hi, I'm Jaki Valensi-Lauper, and welcome to the very first episode of Jackie's Buzz. And we're very excited to have Ephraim J. Adams with us today. Ephraim is an up-and-coming director who I had the privilege and pleasure of working with on Goldilocks, which was my second project when I first moved here to Connecticut from Los Angeles. And I just remember being very impressed with his professionalism, his talent, and his youth. And here he is, Ephraim J. Adams.
Wow, thank you for saying all those great, amazing things, Jackie.
It's true, though. It's very, very true. You are so young and so talented. So how old are you, Ephraim?
I'm 23 years old.
Wow. 23 and doing all of this stuff. I'm jealous.
I feel like I'm pushing over the hill a little bit.
Not at all. Uh-oh, we won't even talk about my age then.
Okay.
And are you from Connecticut, or where do you hail from?
I'm originally from Hampton, Virginia, but I spent most of my life here in Hartford, Connecticut, growing up with my grandmother, who I love dearly.
Aww.
And I'm kind of a spoiled military brat, so we moved a lot of places. And I currently reside here for my college years.
Very cool. Hartford, Connecticut. We'll give a shout out to Hartford. And when did you first have an interest in making films, or did you always have it?
I've always loved movies as a kid, growing up, and I'll love them in the future. In grade school, I used to get in trouble for writing scripts in class instead of doing my work, and other students would get in trouble for reading them instead of doing their work.
You got other students in trouble.
Yeah, so, and that was just my way of, discovering who I was as an artist.
So cool. And right now your genre is mainly horror. Would you say that you do?
Yeah, suspense, horror, thriller type of things, and I throw in a little action sometimes, and we like to just, as directors, we make up our little genres and we call it these outrageous things, but we're doing things that everyone else is doing as well.
And did you fall in love with horror, or were you always in love with it? Did you like it as a kid, or?
I think there's a sort of natural thing about making horror films is that we're all probably afraid of something. So it's a little easier for us to kind of fall into those characters of being scared and being, wanting to, save someone or something like that. So maybe in the future I'll get into more films such as, leaders and public figures and stuff.
Nice, very
Things like
nice. And what does your family think of you getting into the industry, shall we say?
They've been very supportive, surprisingly, because it's not necessarily one of those jobs where food will always be brought to the table.
That we know, yes.
But for the most part, my mom, she's into, she designs clothes, so she's into art stuff. My grandmother, they're into knitting and sewing, and they own their own business where they come in, they draw, and they design the clothes and the fashion.
Nice.
So I think that kind of carried over into me as far as like, not really the glamour of the industry, but just wanting to be around artistic people.
Well, I was just going to say, you got the artistic flair.